Welcome to Philosophy Forge. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Today's video will be about epistemology, philosophy, and the sub-branches. Epistemology. Unraveling the nature of knowledge. Epistemology, derived from the Greek words episteme, knowledge, and logos, study or theory, stands as the philosophical inquiry into the nature, scope, and limits of knowledge itself. At its core, epistemology seeks to unravel the intricacies of what we know, how we come to know it, and the criteria that distinguish knowledge from our belief or opinion. The history of epistemology traces its roots to ancient philosophical inquiries, where thinkers grappled with questions about the nature of truth, certainty, and the sources of knowledge. Plato's dialogues, especially Theaetetus, posed fundamental questions about the nature of knowledge and the distinction between knowledge and mere perception or belief. René Descartes, a pivotal figure in the history of epistemology, embarked on a quest for certain knowledge by methodically doubting all his beliefs in his famous statement cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. Descartes aimed to establish indubitable truths as the foundation for knowledge, laying the groundwork for rationalism and foundationalism in epistemology. Epistemology encompasses various theories and approaches. Rationalism asserts that knowledge is primarily derived from reason and innate ideas. Empiricism, championed by philosophers like John Locke, David Hume, and John Stuart Mill, posits that knowledge originates from sensory experiences and observations of the external world. Furthermore, epistemological discussions delve into skeptical challenges that question the possibility of attaining certain knowledge. Skepticism challenges the reliability of our senses, the coherence of our reasoning faculties, and the limitations of our cognitive capacities to ascertain absolute truths. Theories of justification are central to epistemology, examining the grounds on which beliefs can be considered knowledge. Foundationalism argues that knowledge is built upon basic, self-justifying beliefs, forming an epistemic foundation. Coherentism, in contrast, posits that beliefs derive their justification from their coherence within a broader system of beliefs. Epistemological inquiries extend beyond individual knowledge to explore social aspects of knowledge production and validation. Social epistemology investigates how knowledge is created, justified, transmitted, and evaluated within social contexts, considering factors such as authority, testimony, and consensus. The advent of modern science has raised epistemologic questions about the nature of scientific knowledge and the methods employed to acquire it. The philosophy of science scrutinizes scientific reasoning, experimentation, theory formation, and the demarcation between scientific and non-scientific knowledge. In conclusion, epistemology serves as the foundational pillar upon which our understanding of knowledge stands. Its multifaceted inquiries into the nature of knowledge, skepticism, justification, and the dynamics of acquiring and validating knowledge continue to provoke philosophical discourse and challenge our conceptions of what it means to know. Epistemology isn't merely an abstract intellectual pursuit. It's an exploration that permeates our everyday lives, influencing how we seek, evaluate, and comprehend knowledge in a complex and ever-evolving world. Through the lens of epistemology, we unravel the mysteries of knowledge itself, seeking to comprehend the depths of human understanding and the boundaries that delineate what we know from what remains yet to be discovered. Epistemology, the theory of knowledge. Episteme, as the philosophical discipline concerned with the nature and scope of knowledge, delves into the intricate labyrinth of understanding what constitutes knowledge, how it is acquired, justified, and the boundaries that distinguish it from mere belief or opinion. At the heart of epistemology lies the profound quest to unravel the essence of knowledge itself. One of the fundamental inquiries in epistemology revolves around the nature of knowledge. What distinguishes knowledge from mere belief or conjecture? Traditionally, knowledge is often defined as justified true belief, a belief that is not only true but also supported by sufficient evidence or reasoning. Theories of knowledge within epistemology grapple with various approaches to understanding how knowledge is acquired. Rationalism, championed by philosophers like René Descartes and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, posits that knowledge stems primarily from innate ideas and reason. According to rationalists, certain truths can be known a priori through logical deduction without relying on sensory experiences. In contrast, empiricism, advocated by philosophers such as John Locke, David Hume, and John Stuart Mill, asserts that knowledge is derived from sensory experiences and observations of the external world. Empiricists contend that all knowledge ultimately traces back to sensory perception, and our understanding of the world is shaped by our interactions with it. Central to the theory of knowledge is the concept of justification. How do we justify our beliefs as constituting gold? Foundationalism, a prominent theory, posits that knowledge is built upon a foundation often dubitable, self-evident beliefs. Foundationalists argue that these basic beliefs serve as the starting points upon which all other justified beliefs are grounded. However, coherentism offers an alternative approach, proposing that the justification of beliefs arises from their coherence within a broader web or system of beliefs. According to coherentists, beliefs gain justification not from foundational certainties, but from their internal consistency and logical coherence within a network of interconnected lies. Epistemological discussions also engage with skepticism, challenging the certainty of knowledge claims. Skepticism raises doubts about the reliability of our senses, the potential fallibility of our cognitive faculties, and the possibility of attaining absolute or infallible knowledge. Moreover, social epistemology expands the scope of epistemological inquiry beyond the individual to the social realm. It investigates how knowledge is produced, evaluated, transmitted, and validated within social contexts, considering the role of authority, testimony, consensus, and cultural influences in shaping collective knowledge. In the realm of science, epistemology scrutinizes the nature of scientific knowledge and the methodologies employed to acquire it. Philosophers of science examine scientific reasoning, the formulation of hypotheses, experimentation, observation, and the criteria used to demarcate scientific knowledge from non-scientific claims. In conclusion, the theory of knowledge within epistemology navigates the intricate terrain of understanding what we know and how we come to know it. Its exploration into the nature of knowledge, justification, rationalism, empiricism, skepticism, and the social dynamics of knowledge production conscience to fuel philosophical discourse and challenge our conceptions of knowledge. Epistemology serves as a guiding beacon in our quest for understanding, prompting us to critically examine the foundations of our beliefs and the boundaries of our knowledge. Through the lens of epistemology, we endeavor to comprehend the complexities of knowledge acquisition, justification, and the profound mysteries that linger within the realm of human understanding. Epistemology and the philosophy of science, unveiling the nature of scientific knowledge. The philosophical inquiry into the nature and scope of knowledge intertwines profoundly with philosophy of science, shaping our understanding of how we acquire and validate scientific knowledge. This nexus scrutinizes the very foundations of scientific inquiry, examining its methods, assumptions, and the criteria for distinguishing between scientific knowledge and other forms of understanding. At the heart of the philosophy of science lies the quest to comprehend the nature of scientific knowledge. Epistemological considerations within this domain explore questions about the legitimacy of scientific claims, the methods employed to acquire knowledge, and criteria that differentiate scientific propositions from non-scientific ones. Central to epistemological discussions in the philosophy of science is the scientific method itself. This methodological framework, often characterized by observation, experimentation, hypothesis formation, and empirical verification, serves as the cornerstone of scientific inquiry. Epistemologists investigate the justification and reliability of these methods, probing into the extent to which they yield reliable and objective knowledge about the natural world. The distinction between empirical evidence and theoretical explanation occupies a pivotal position in epistemological considerations within the philosophy of science. While empirical observations serve as the groundwork for scientific theories, the interpretation and conceptualization of these observations give rise to theoretical frameworks. Epistemologists analyze how these theories are constructed, tested, refined, and validated within the scientific community. Moreover, epistemology delves into the demarcation problem, the challenge of distinguishing between science and non-science. This inquiry scrutinizes the criteria that distinguish scientific theories from pseudoscience or non-empirical claims, such as those of metaphysics or theology. Philosophers of science, drawing from epistemological principles, aim to establish criteria like falsifiability, empirical testability, and explanatory power to demarcate science from non-science. Debates within the philosophy of science often revolve around issues such as scientific realism versus anti-realism. Scientific realists advocate the belief that scientific theories accurately describe an objective reality, while anti-realists contend that scientific theories provide useful models, but may not necessarily represent the underlying truth of the world. Furthermore, epistemological considerations extend to the social dynamics of scientific knowledge production and validation. Social epistemology examines the role of scientific communities, peer review processes, paradigms, and sociocultural influences in shaping scientific knowledge. It explores how consensus, authority, and social contexts impact the acceptance and dissemination of scientific theories. In conclusion, the nexus between epistemology and the philosophy of science underscores the intricate relationship between knowledge acquisition and the scientific interpretation. Epistemological inquiries within the philosophy of science critically assess the methods, assumptions, and boundaries of scientific knowledge, continually refining our understanding of what constitutes valid scientific inquiry and nature of the knowledge it yields. Through the lens of epistemology, we unravel the complexities of scientific knowledge, discerning the epistemic foundations upon which scientific claims rest. This interplay between epistemological principles and scientific practice guides us in navigating the terrain of scientific discovery, constantly challenging and shaping our conceptions of the world and our place within it.